I bought the cheapest 3D printer on Amazon for under $100. Is this a legitimate entry point for beginners? Or did I just buy e-waste? Let's find out. Oh, and this 3D printer is pretty slow, so I'm going to be testing it with CoreXY speed to see if it will survive in the end, or if it will fall apart in the first fast speed print. So let's cover the basics first. EasyThreed, or as I initially read it as EasyThreed, is a 10cm cubed bedslinger with very minimal features. It has manual bed leveling, mostly prints with PLA and TPU, it has no part cooling fan, prints over SD card only, and honestly reminds me of a baby Ender 3, more on that later. So now we can have a look at the unboxing experience and the assembly. It came with a little box and didn't weigh much, so I was kind of skeptical about what was inside. But gladly there was a cute little 3D printer inside. It came with some detailed instructions, the printer itself, power brick and a UK plug, some roll of filament, and a couple of other goodies. Putting it all together was relatively easy, but as usual, I made my job harder than it should have been by doing the assembly myself without referring to the instruction manual, just to see how intuitive it was. And after a few confusing moments, I went back to reading the instructions, which were pretty straightforward. Afterwards, I attached the cables, plugged in the power cord, inserted the filament, and began to level the bed. There are these 4 buttons at the base of the unit that represent 4 corners of the bed. So once you press the button number 1, it will go to the first position. Button 2 goes to the second position, and so on. In general, I'm not a huge fan of manual bed leveling, and I don't think modern flagship 3D printers should utilize it. This is because there are multiple hardware and software solutions that eliminate any form of manual bed leveling. However, this is a cheap 3D printer, and I actually like the system a lot. It is easy for the beginner to test how much gap should there be between the nozzle and the bed using a piece of paper, and the predefined position prevents the user from guessing where they should be probing the bed. On a side note, during the first bed leveling experience, I noticed that there were no end stops, and I was pleasantly surprised that it was sensorless homing, which was definitely not present in the original Ender 3. With the bed leveled, I inserted the SD card and selected the feed button to get the filament going. After that, I pressed the green play button and started to print. There is no display or touchscreen, so the flashing button is the only way to signal to the user that the nozzle is getting out of temperatures and begins to print. It first printed this little rocket. It came out good, there were no bed adhesion issues, pretty much no stringing, only minor issues at the top where the layers didn't stick to each other properly. I did notice how slow it was. Perhaps I'm just used to the CoreXY printers, but pretty much all the prints I did were frustratingly slow. After that, I wanted to slice and print my models. I first checked out the provided SD card, which was full of useful resources, like STLs and G-code for the spool holder, and some photos of how it would look like. It also has a bunch of instruction PDFs in different languages, a video of how to assemble and use the K10, and finally, a link to Orca Slicer on a G drive. Now, I was a bit unsure about downloading it from there, so I kind of opted for another slicer. Once I was on Cura, I couldn't see EasyThreed in the list of available printers, so how to create a custom one. It would include a 100mm cubed print area, 1.75mm nozzle, marling for G-code flavor, and setting the speed to 40mm per second. I sliced a few parts, and the highlights include a scaled-down benchy, a test model, and a 20mm cube. As you can see, the quality isn't greatest, even after I tried to play around with slice settings. Is it better than one of these 3D pens? Sure. Is it better than an Ender 3 clone? I don't think so. During my experience of printing, I appreciated how quiet this printer is. Even with the hot end fan always being on, and the motors letting you know they're working hard, it is still nice to hear it working in the background. Here's a little snippet of how it sounds in action. When I was doing research for this printer, I did see that sellers would advertise the EasyThreed K10 would work with TPU, which was kind of doubtful at first, given the price point. But it is a direct drive extruder, so it should be able to handle flexibles to some degree. I tested a few models like this cube, benchy, and a rocket, and the quality was pretty much the same as PLA, if not better. I didn't expect it would work this well with TPU, especially when I did a review of CoreXY K2, and it failed to print with flexibles out of the box, a printer that would cost 5 times than the K10. After printing with PLA and TPU, I wanted to see what it would do if I was to set the speed to CoreXY in Cura and try to print it. And well, it didn't make much of a difference. It looks like the stepper speeds are maxed out as sub 40mm per second, so unless I wanted to hack it, I don't think there's a way to speed up the print times. So a few other points to mention. The build quality is exactly what you expect from a sub $100 printer. Since these metal panels are tied together with this plastic locking mechanism, the rigidity of the axis is questionable at best, and I think that's one of the reasons why the quality and the speed suffer. The bed platform itself is also a bit wobbly, but I don't think it impacted bed adhesion. And on a related note, I am not sure how long the build surface would last. This is what it looks like after a couple dozen prints, and it's already kind of beaten up. One thing that I did appreciate with the EasyThreed K10 is that the SD card reader is flush with the frame of the printer, so inserting and ejecting it is pretty easy. It might seem like an obvious thing, but in my Ender 3 there was a tiny gap between the front panel and the SD card reader. And I remember the confusion first time I inserted the card reader. It would actually go into that little gap and get lost, and I wouldn't see the contents of the SD card on the screen. On the topic of SD cards, there's obviously no Wi-Fi connection with the K10, so get ready to max out your steps count for the day, since you'll be constantly running between your computer and the 3D printer with the latest slice G-code. Since it is a simple 3D printer, the way to tell it what to print is to place the G-code into the root of the SD card and have only one file there, so not to confuse the K10. I fully understand why they implemented it, but after a few dozen prints, this gets old quick. Moving and deleting all G-code and placing the new one is kind of tedious after a while. Perhaps I'm just spoiled with modern slicers and 3D printers that connect wirelessly. The more and more I was using the K10, the more I thought about who it is for. If you're looking for a cheap project or experimental printer, I don't think it is it. The K10 uses proprietary parts, so upgrading it would be difficult. If you're on a super tight budget and cannot spend more than $100, then maybe it is one for you. But then you're probably better off buying a used Cartesian printer that will be something like 10 times better than the K10. Ultimately, I think this printer is designed as more of a toy, maybe for kids or parents who want to introduce their children to the hobby, but don't want to break the bank or get bogged down with complicated flagship printers. To summarize, what I liked about the EasyThreed K10 3D printer: first, it works okay with PLA and TPU. Second, the bed leveling mechanism is super simple to follow and calibrate. Third, the printer is overall quieter than the majority of 3D printers out there. And lastly, EasyThreed provides a lot of resources like videos and written instructions on how to set up the printer, so you really can't go wrong during the setup. So what I didn't like about this is that there are some serious build quality issues, and it is clear that this printer doesn't cost much, giving the printer toy vibes. As a result of this, the print speeds are painfully slow, and the quality of the print isn't great either. Overall, I think the K10 printer is an alright printer as a toy, perhaps good for kids or getting them into the hobby. But if you're an adult and don't want a 3D printer from a Happy Meal, you're probably better off buying a used 3D printer or a new Ender 3 for sale around $100. Now, if you're looking for a budget 3D printer, check out my review of the Elegoo Centaur Carbon from a couple of weeks ago. It is a sub-$300 3D printer with a passionate fan base and overall good value. And if you like my content, consider subscribing. Cheers!